Welcome to the fascinating world of traffic signals. Today, this intersection may look a little bit familiar to you. In my last video, we were out here over the weekend checking out a little bit of an issue, and we are back again. We haven't had an issue again recently, but I just want to come through this intersection and check all the logs and make sure that there was no issues from the time that I was last here. Make sure it's all still been running like it should be. So let's do that real quick. Let's go ahead and open up this cabinet here. It looks like the controller's still running just fine, but what we need to do is go over to this conflict monitor, select next, hit select on menu, and then we're gonna hit next on a couple of these options here. And we wanna go down until we see view logs. Now we're gonna hit select on view logs, hit select on previous fails, and then right here we can check all of our previous failures, and they also have the time and dates on it. And we're gonna check this and just make sure it hasn't had any more issues since the last time we were here. All right, and as you can see, our last previous fail was a CBM on 7/4/24. If you hit select, you can go through and you can check all the field voltage that's put out in the field during the fault itself. That was me working on it all at the same time. So with that being said, this intersection hasn't gone back into flash since the last time I was here, but the time is still off on that, and that is conjoined in with this M60 here. Since they're communicating together, if I change the times in here, it should change the times inside the conflict monitor and be set to the current time. So what I want to do to change the times inside of the controller is click number 6, which is time-based data, and then hit number 2, which is set time and date. It has the wrong time. Right now it's 8 o'clock and it's saying it's 10 o'clock in here. So, or 10:44. So let's put in a 20. Let's put in a 0 and a 2 since it is 8:02. They also have the date wrong. Today is not the 5th, it is the 8th, I want to say. So we need to change that to the 8th, and then we can press enter on that. And then there we go. We done changed it from 10 o'clock to, or 10:44 is what it was set at. We now have it set up for 8:04 on the right day. Should have the right day of the week set up now. And that would be showing a Monday and not a Friday. And as you can see on this conflict monitor, the date hasn't changed just yet, but the time has gone from 10 o'clock, whatever it was saying a second ago, at 10 something to 8:05 p.m., which is the current time right now. So it is set up properly now. Oh, and there you go. The dates just changed on the conflict monitor as well. So setting the dates and times inside of this controller, it did all the work for us and changed the dates and time in this conflict monitor, giving us more accurate logs when we come out here. If we don't know the dates and times, it's kind of hard to judge when all these issues are happening. But if you have the right dates and times set into this controller and conflict monitor, then it's easier troubleshooting. So right now, we're gonna leave this controller in here and we're gonna let it work and run the intersection like it has been doing just fine for the past day or two. And then we'll see if there's any more issues out of this intersection anytime soon, and we will be back out here. So let's go continue on to our work night. Well guys, hard to tell at this intersection, but they have this left lane closed down for nobody to make a U-turn or hang left there. And it looks like somebody finally got T-boned here because of it. People kept running it still. Well guys, that accident was not a vehicle getting T-boned. It was actually a pedestrian that got hit by a vehicle, and unfortunately it looks like he did not make it. And I just cannot express the safety concerns and everything else like that of people, that we are no match to a 5,000, 6,000 pound hunk of metal. There's just no odds against it. We do not win any or ever. So please use designated crosswalks when they're available. And unfortunately, something like that happened tonight, and it always sucks when it does. But we're going to continue working on tonight and get through the night. So let's get to it. And what I have to do at these intersections, and I've been here recently, we've been working on a little bit of a punch out list, but I gotta go through and I gotta rename all of these devices. Right now on the majority of them, we have it set up for the side street being first, saying 13th Street, and then matching it with the busier highway, that's US 49. And it's not how they want it, and we're giving them what they want. Go ahead and change that now from 13th and 49 to US 49 at 13th. So let me do it real quick. All right, guys, getting this one changed over, but it's a cool little example here, and you can kind of see, it's hard to tell. I'm gonna try to get y'all as close as possible to the screen of this camera here, but you can see a lot of shaking. Probably hard to tell on video, but we don't have a big, strong amount of wind, but you can see this mast arm out here, how it kind of bounces a bunch. And that's actually moving the zones a little bit of the camera. There's no issue with that, but they do make wind dampeners that you can put on the end of a mast arm, and it's like a flat piece up top, and it really helps out with the harmonic vibrations from wind and swaying like this arm's doing here, because in high wind situations that can cause trouble with these cameras, either giving false calls or bounce enough and maybe not pick up vehicles properly. But that is something you look for, and something Mississippi doesn't use a lot of. You go up north a little bit more with tornadoes, you start finding a lot of wind dampeners, where down here on the Gulf Coast you don't see them that often. You'll also see signal heads turn sideways, being horizontal mounts, and that helps reduce wind vibrations and wind bounce, how that mast arm's doing there now. And that kind of, and clearance issues, like under bridges, for people to actually see the whole signal head, they'll mount them horizontal. That's a couple reasons why you'd see different mounted signal heads, and reasons behind it, and why you may see some big flat object. Kind of looks like a solar panel, and that would be at the very end of a mast arm, but it's not connected to anything. It just mounts up there, and it helps with the bounce of the poles. But let's get away from this intersection and let's go down to the next one. All right, we're down at the next intersection. We're doing the same thing here for the most part, but as you can see on this controller, our PED phase 3 and 6 are locking in a call, and the reason for it may just surprise you. Nah, it shouldn't surprise you at all. An 18-wheeler came in a little too close on this pole, and I'll go across there here in a second and show y'all, and ended up taking out both of the PED buttons that were on that pole, which is a fairly typical thing to happen. And I'll go over there and kind of show you all the damages that that truck did to that pole. So let's go take a look at that. Here is the damages to the pole. You can see the pole got scuffed up real bad, and the mounting brackets for both of the pedestrian buttons are broken in half, damaged and messed up. The cable looks good still, so we get to reuse the cable at least. And there is no voltage on these cables. This is just a logic, so it's really grounding out. Nothing that can just shock a pedestrian as they walk by. But yep, that's what happens when an 18-wheeler takes it a little too close and knocked those off of this pole, plus did some damage to the pole. And also what this does now, when pedestrian detection devices go out, it's the same as if a camera or something like that goes out for vehicle detection. It's now going to keep on putting in calls for these crosswalks, and they'll end up continuously getting the crosswalk light over on that side, and then same on this side walking across. They're going to continuously get the crosswalk light, which is going to stop this intersection, make it cycle, give the green light over to these lights up here, and hold up everybody on the busier highway here. Every time this intersection max out, you can see it's already cycling around, more for this car than the PED stuff, but it's going to go to the PED stuff as well. As you can see, the PED got it first. They got the crosswalk light. That's all because these buttons are damaged and taken off of the pole. So causes more issues than just damaging a pole when something gets hit out here. All right, guys, just finished up at this intersection, renamed this device in the proper format that they want to see all these devices set up as. Everything's working like it should at this intersection. Also had to ground out some of the equipment, but at this point it's about to just be a bunch of repetitiveness and me doing the same thing over and over, just trying to prepare for this final inspection on a few of these intersections that we have on this project so that we can get it taken off of maintenance for them. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Y'all make sure to hit the like button, and as always, thanks for watching.